Briana Wu, welcome back to the show.
Such a good time. I had such a good time. I was so nervous about my hit with you guys last time. Everyone told me, don't do it. It's going to be hostile. And it was just a fantastic time. It was great for my career. So thank you all so much.
Well, you're very welcome. But beyond that, I think we're sitting here in a very interesting moment. You're someone who's very active in supporting the Democratic Party.
100%.
Proactive within it. And we're sitting here... Yeah. What happened?
Well, you know, what didn't happen is they didn't listen to any of the stuff we talked about last time, which was dropping this identity politics bullshit. You know, they didn't take immigration seriously. We did what we do as Democrats, which is we try to be people pleaser. We said nothing that was real. We appealed to the elites, and now our bed is made, and we're going to sleep in it for the next 4 years.
Do you think it is 4 years? Because my suspicion is if Donald Trump is even remotely effective in governing and delivering the things that the people of this country asked him to do, with such a landslide in terms of the electoral vote, the college, the House, Senate, everything, then I don't see why anybody would vote for the Democrats at the next election.
Until we get our stuff together, we have to give people a reason to vote for us. You know, Constantine, I really see this election as very straightforward. And I've had so many conversations with people. They don't like Trump, but they don't like the Democratic elitists more. They hate us more. They hate progressives more. They hate the people that announce their pronouns more. They hate the people that do land acknowledgements more. They hate the people that derail every single conversation into racial grievance more. They are so sick of that. And until the Democratic Party can back away from the abyss and turn into something that normal people are going to vote for again, Trump and the Republicans will stay in power. That's just a fact.
Briana, you know what you were saying, and I was in agreement with you. And I think the reason is whatever you think about Trump, he's authentic.
Yeah.
He is who he is, like it or lump it, as we say in the UK.
Yes.
I see the people doing land acknowledgements, my pronouns are blah, blah, and I see them as incredibly inauthentic.
100%. It's completely fake. There's a culture in the Democratic Party that I've had a front seat to. And this is how it works. Someone will go to a focus group and they will sit down and say, well, if you want to talk to Black people, here's how you do it. Use these words. You want to talk to women? Go use these words. You want to talk to Latinos? Use these words. And what ends up coming is you're like a robot trying to go down the list and please every single member of the coalition. And the result of that is we don't say anything that feels real as Democrats. So until we can just get that out of our head and start talking to working people like they are humans and not some dumb animal to be manipulated, the American people are going to reject us. And to be just really blunt with you, we don't seem to have learned any lessons when Trump won in 2016. I'm not sure we're going to learn any lessons this time around.
Do you think that is the power of ideology, in that there seems to be a lot of Democrats who've imbibed this progressive ideology?
I think it is that with the people that actually work in the Democratic Party. I also think there's a tremendous lack of willpower in our leadership class and our electeds. And they're, you see this, have y'all ever had a high-level Democrat, member of Congress or the Senate come on your show?
No. We have invited them, by the way.
Why the hell would they say no to that? They're so scared of going into these environments where the questions aren't very controlled and the conversation isn't on their terms. I've seen this firsthand. That it's just, we're completely missing this entire new generation of media. Donald Trump went on Aiden Ross. He said some spicy stuff, but Donald Trump showed up. He showed that constituency he cared what they had to say. And what happened with young white men? They voted for him overwhelmingly. We've got to have the guts to go into media environments that may not always be friendly to us.
But here's the problem with that, Briana. You can't go into that environment if you're not authentic to who you are and if you're not honest. You can dislike what Donald Trump says,
yes,
but you know that that's what he believes.
Yes.
Right? So the problem, I think, the reason that people on the Democrat side, and this is the same with the left in the UK, are less willing to engage in this is that they're not actually being honest about what they believe. And in that case, if I was one of their advisors, I would definitely say to Kamala Harris, don't go on Rogan.
Yep, totally fair.
Because he's going to ask you reasonable questions and you're going to sound like an idiot because you can't answer them because you're not being honest.
Yeah. That's 100% it. We've gotten so comfortable in progressive spaces with never having our ideas challenged. And, you know, I see this, I think this is really emblematic right now with, trans people. You know, our leaders in the trans movement, right now, they're saying all this nonsense. They're saying, you know, this trans ideology had no factor in the election whatsoever. These ads didn't work. You know what? I've run a few television ads in the course of my career. People don't budget $219 million for ads without sitting down and doing some focus groups and seeing if they're going to have salience. Of course this had salience. And of course there's something that we're doing wrong. Of course we have a part to play in where we are today. But there's just no willingness with trans leaders to sit down and go, hey, you know what? The American people are not on board with our message. They're actually really upset with us. What should we do differently? There's just no willingness to examine that.
Well, you know, just on that point, when we first interviewed you,
sure.
We got pushback from kind of people on the gender critical side. Oh, Briana Wu is trans. I was like, oh, really? I didn't know that. Because that's how the world used to be, with all respect. No one used to really care.
That's right.
And then these people came along and they started shoving this in everyone's face.
That's right.
They started putting these books in people's schools.
That's right.
They started making an issue out of it where really the issue was, let's treat everybody as an individual.
100%.
And we've got so far away from that.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me that people are annoyed about it, because once you, and I said this, I still remember I said this, one of the first realizations I had when we first started the show and we first started talking about this. I was like, if you start fucking with people's kids,
that's right,
you're going to lose them very quickly.
100%. You know, I think you see this with the abortion issue, right? Democrats told ourselves that the only issue women care about is abortion. But that's not true. If you don't know moms to know, if you are sending messages to their kindergartners, inviting their kindergartners to fill out a box to tell you what their gender is or their neo-pronouns, those moms are not going to like you very much. So of course we're turning them off. Yeah, to come back to your first point, I went 20 years without talking about being trans as part of my public profile. I just never wanted it to be what my career is about. But the truth is, you look at these nut jobs that are driving our civil rights right now, I really worry if someone does not stand up and go, we've got to get this movement back to sanity, back to some public policy that people can agree with. I'm terrified about what's going to happen. There's a message you can give people, which is, look, this is my body, my life. I'm going to take this medication. I will accept the responsibility myself. Just let me go make my own choices. People are on board with that. Mm-hmm. They are not on board with, we're going to announce our pronouns when we meet each other, and if you screw that up, you're going to be socially ostracized. Mm-hmm. Like, there's just this entire culture that's gone with the trans movement that just seems crazy to me as a trans woman. And until that changes, we're going to keep losing ground.
And it's a lovely parallel, actually, between the trans movement and the Democrat Party,
yes.
which is when people don't agree with these type of activists, and we saw this with Kamala Harris,
yes.
we immediately go to fascism.
That's right.
And you just listen to that. And as a reasonable person who is left-leaning on a lot of things, I go, well, I'm just not going to engage with you.
Yeah.
Why should I?
Yeah. It goes so extreme and so hyperbolic so quickly. Like, were either of you surprised with how Democrats reacted to this loss? What was it? The American people are racist. The American people are sexist. They want a fascist. You know, the American people are transphobic. Is there any part of this where we look at ourselves in the mirror and go, what role did we as Democrats have to play in the situation we're in? If Trump is this bad and people still prefer him over us, what are we doing wrong?